welcome. My name is John Johnson, JJ. This is going to be another book review, a wonderful book review. Now, to start off, the name of the book, Ninjutsu no Gokui. Okay, is a up-to-date translation and English version of Ninjutsu no Gokui. Okay, Ninjutsu no Gokui, well, here. First off, I want to go over the book itself. The cover and everything like that, it's pretty nice. I like that. The thing about some books, though, I want to let you all notice this, is that, I can be kind of tough on books when you bend the pages open and you do this and stuff like that. This is the reason I really enjoy and I like hardcover books. So for anyone who's putting books out there, it's worth a hardcover, because you end up with stuff like this. Paperbacks suck because of that. Duly noted. Next thing about this book, just like everyone else that has done a review about this book, they mention the pictures, the images. There are some images from the original version of Ninjutsu no Gokui, such as the use of sword to climb. I've done deep, detailed videos about this trick in the past, but it's where you take your sword, you put it up next to a wall, you step on the handguard and use it to climb up to the top of the wall. That's too high. There's a nice picture that was in the original book that I wish the author would have kept in here. He kind of took any kind of pictures out, because there were only like 2 or 3 pictures. One was that sword climb, another one was like wall running, where you see someone using all momentum to run up a wall so you can reach a height. Those images are gone and replaced with their things like this, which I don't mind. I don't say his images as goofy images. They do relate to what he talks about in the chapters. Such as this, the physical nature of Ninjutsu, found secret depths. You end up with pictures like this right before each chapter, and I see, they do relate. In other words, he drew something that relates to it, but it's not showing it or anything. Here's a picture of a really cool Tengu, So really, I do like the artwork, and it does relate to the chapter at hand and stuff like that. I still wish you would have kept just that one sword climb image there. It would have been great. Again, what this is a translation of, okay? I'm going to go into that right here. About the translation, okay? Ito Sensei is the one who originally wrote the book. Right off the bat, the author of this book talks about the going over the kanji translation, thanking people who helped him through translating some of the tough kanji of Ninjutsu no Gokui. The essential points of ninjutsu by, if I'm pronouncing it right, Jinjutsu Ito. But the translation from the original Japanese book, which was written a while ago, was now translated by a gentleman named Eric Shahan. Okay, Mr. Eric Shahan thanks the people, his wife, people he's worked with, things like that, translators that helped him translate it and bring it to a text that you see in this book, that us English readers can easily read and comprehend. Now, what the original author of the book, Ninjutsu no Gokui, he was trying his best to take on ninjutsu, the information. He wanted to put in information in a book and write it all down in a perspective of, it's not secret, it's not fancy anymore. It's the same kind of essence that Anthony and his team's almost putting on things. It's like, it's not that big of a secret. It's starting to be outdated because when Junjutsu Ito, if I'm pronouncing his name right, wrote this Ninjutsu no Gokui, um, he it was ninjutsu itself was coming to it, all the warring and all that. It's all come to it. We started to find technology now. It was like just at the very beginning of the 1900s that he wrote this. So it's not, again, just like today, when we see skills and fire recipes and stuff like that used by ninja, it's kind of outdated. We're like, that's kind of goofy because nowadays it wouldn't work with the security camera in the corner, That's what Ninjutsu Ito is after within his book, okay? He's just trying to show that, a lot of this stuff is just kind of, the mysterious ninja, and, he's like, guys, they're not so mysterious. Here's what they did. Here's all the hiding techniques, and here's some of the escape techniques. This is the stuff they did. And he goes into techniques done by ninja. So you can tell he doesn't add information from the shoninki or anything like that, or the ninkadin or anything. There's none of that information in here, so you're not going to find any scroll information or accurately written back in the past information. What you're going to find is all the same information can be found in this book, but in his words. He tells about the trick. He describes it. He doesn't say where it's from, but we know now that it's from more likely the shoninki or the ninkadin. But nonetheless, he does go over about those things. And a lot of this book, and what I really like this book for, is if you're really, really interested, if you're a ninjutsu practitioner, and you are interested in hiding and escaping, a lot of the stealthy factors, a lot of that is in here. You definitely want to get this book if you're interested in the hiding methods, tricks, insight into how the shinobi snuck around. This book says a lot about it. Dotan ground escape techniques, using the principles of earth, heaven, and stuff like that. Again, metal escape techniques, water escape techniques. In an extreme example of this technique, we can look what is written in old Chinese documents. This is another key factor here that I want to point out, is he references back to Chinese spies a few times in this book. He goes into aspects of physical, like, being light as a feather, the jumping, climbing ability, stuff like that. He mentions that these are just, some of the minute factors of ninjutsu, but are key factors, are important factors, as well as not body, but appear, the mind, how to think like ninjutsu, being witty. Kind of the same concepts that Notori goes about in the shoninki. Junjutsu Ito does in his small way, but in less of a mysterious way. This part I really like, okay? It goes into, just a few chapters in, goes into ninjutsu techniques of disguise, with techniques of disguising the face. Now, he adds a real good picture at the beginning of this chapter of someone, a gentleman, sitting in his room, while the Yamabushi monk with his mask playing his flute simply walks on by, peeking in. That's a nice picture. I actually like that. And that really shows that moment of how the disguise is being used. Which, by the way, he refers to ninjutsu as ninjutsu sha, or ninjutsu masters, like people who have mastered the art of this, That's what he calls and refers to as ninjutsu sha. I like that. Here we are, another chapter that I can give you an example of the type of stuff he does. Already spoken about disguises, this, that. Now, the 6 tools of ninjutsu: braided concealed hat, rope with grappling hook, a slate pencil, medicine, 3 shaku length of cloth, uchitake. The 6 arms are essential to ninjutsu sha, and they normally had them on their person. Amongst these are the braided hat, which is necessary as it can be used to cover the face. Okay? Again, that same piece of information we've read everywhere else, but where did he get it? Okay? He had to have gotten it from the shoninki or something. because that exact same piece of information is from the Shoninki, I swear. You have a small list and it goes right directly into the first thing it describes is the hat and using it to hide your face. What I really enjoyed about this book, though, the information that he adds is the stuff that you don't read about in the scrolls, the stuff that's left to Kuden. Verbal translation, that's it. You wouldn't get it from writing. Ninjutsu teacher to ninjutsu student, that's it. Is one of the factors he mentions in here, and it is an important factor to me, and I've kind of had a lot of thought about this, and I've read a lot about it and stuff like that, how to deal with it. And it is smell, okay? Smell. Think about that. And it's been mentioned before by someone else when we were talking about lubricants and oils for infiltration, and using urine on a squeaky hinge. If all else fails, you have no other way to use urine. But a fellow ninjutsu instructor was just like, no, don't use urine because of the smell. And it makes sense. And in this book, Jujutsu Ito mentions smell is a very, very key factor, and he stresses how important and how it can be a life-threatening factor, just smell, as well as sound and anything else. Think about that. You're creeping indoors past sleeping people, you're doing thief entering step, or whatever you want to call it, a stealthy step, and you're biting paper, and you're sneaking, but you have this odorous, horrible stench of sake and chicken. Someone's going to notice you. So there are factors that are talked about in here that you don't even see in the scrolls, but they are definitely points of ninjutsu. So definitely a good read. Add it to your library.